Diamond Award winner Tractable helps the world recover faster from accidents and disasters with AI. Its AI solutions capture and process photos of damage and predict repair costs, meaning insurers receive damage assessments in a fraction of the time, allowing them to make decisions quicker and provide a more effective service to their customers. Tractable is applying its AI to real-world accident situations, focusing first on auto damage. Its platform is trained on a proprietary dataset of many millions of photos of car accidents and the repair operations that ensued build up through cross-geography partnerships and data integrations. With AI review, their clients are able to check all claims, leading to significant cost savings, while also saving engineers time from reviewing claims. This gets customers back on the road more quickly. Today, Adrian Cohen will co-present with Marcin Kurtzap, Innovation Director at PZU, one of Central Europe's largest insurers. Together they will show how PZU embeds AI in their auto claims process, resulting in a substantial increase in efficiency and an improved review process. Great to have on DIA Primetime, Tractable and PZU.
Hi Adrian, good to see you again. For those who don't know Tractable, can you give a short introduction about the company?
Good to see you too, Roger. At Tractable, we develop AI to help the world recover from accidents and disasters. Right now, we are focused on using AI to understand and analyze auto damage, and we work with the world's largest insurers to help them accelerate claims and return vehicles to customers more efficiently.
First of all, tell us a bit about 2020. How have things been going?
Well, it sounds strange to say, given what's happened to everyone in 2020, but we've had a really successful year. We've more than doubled our revenue, the size of the business, right, the number of customers we have, and we're now working with more than 25 insurance companies in 12 countries. Those companies include global names like Tokio Marine, Mitsui in Japan, Covéa in France, AGS in the UK, Admiral in Europe, etc. And we've really grown the company to, I think, more than 170 people now, spread across the 3 continents.
It's been a very difficult year for everyone with the pandemic. So what has been the impact on Tractable?
Well, from a business perspective, we have seen more demand for our AI solutions and what those solutions can do. COVID means insurers have had a greater need to make sense of claims and damage remotely with less and less touch points, which is in the end exactly what our solution provides. Now, I would say the industry was going into this direction anyway. This was a trend that was already at play. Remote assessment, touchless claim is extremely beneficial to the entire process. But I would say COVID has accelerated how everyone is looking to act in the field. So we've actually seen a big step up, right, in the number of companies wanting to use AI and deploy AI in the real world to make an impact. Now, on the operational standpoint, I would say that we've been working from home since March, which clearly has been quite challenging. And I've been really impressed by the way we've adapted to building a sophisticated and complex AI product remotely, fully remotely, which is not something we were, had training on. I would say, of course, that now we're all looking forward to getting back into the office.
Now, you've previously presented at DIA your solution on how to apply AI at the first notification of loss. But today you want to talk about something different?
Well, that's right. We have previously presented our AI estimating solution at DIA. And that's the solution we really insert between the insurance company and the claimant so that you can turn around the claim immediately. Essentially, DIA just makes sense of the photos, performs a damage assessment, communicate this assessment to the insurance companies so the car can be triaged the right way immediately at the very first time while still being on the very first call with the policyholder. That's obviously a very strong example of how AI can really help to accelerate the claim process and the entire journey. Now, if you think about this entire process, obviously a large chunk of the process actually happens behind the scene after this call with the policyholder and rather with the body shop, right? Talking about the repair itself, we're talking about the discussions between repairer and insurance company to progress the claim further and really repair the car. And that is really, this moment in the process is actually where a large base of our customers use our AI today. You know, whether it's Kvia, Tokyo Marine, PZU, that will tell us shortly about how they makes the best use of AI in this specific use case. That's what we call AI review. And if you want to understand the benefit of AI review, you need to think about how difficult it is for an insurer to understand what is actually happening in its repair network. You know, if you're an insurance company, you may be processing hundreds of thousands or even millions of claims every year. And it's very difficult to keep an eye on everything that's going on in your network. And so AI really solves this issue, right? Instead of checking every repair in detail manually, you can use AI to really do the heavy lifting for you, which means that you're removing the friction in the process. And so instead of having insurers that will typically only check some of their claims in detail, they can use AI to really ensure that they're checking all the right claims and finding all of the anomalies and making sure they always pay the right amount. So with AI review, you have an AI that has been trained on millions of photos of auto damage that is really able to understand a claim just like a human assessor, and that enables the insurer, if you will, to review all of the claims it's processing at a consistent and safe standard, catching any potential inaccuracies and giving the insurance company total control over its network with a pair of expert eyes that is reviewing 100% of the repairs happening at any given point in time.
So how does AI review benefit the insurer?
Well, first of all, checking every claim instead of a portion is a step change. And there's a huge difference in understanding in detail what happens in just some of your claims versus all of them, right? And that's because when you see every claim, you can finally understand if you're, number one, checking the right claims or not. And you can make sure that the claims that actually will need to be reviewed and discussed are pulled out by the AI and sent to the engineer for a thorough check. Now, claims that don't need review, they can be moved forward straight away, right? You can automate a part of the process, and you can make sure that your team is actually spending its time on complex, meaningful cases where their expertise is required, and you can trust the AI to process things faster when possible. Obviously, once you see your whole network, once you have an eye on 100% of your book of claims, you have a much better understanding of the problems you have and where those problems are. For example, maybe a repairer in one part of your network is repairing certain type of damage and another is replacing those panels. And you really want to have this visibility because you can then start setting the right kind of consistent repair standard. And more importantly, you can enforce this consistent repair standard using AI as an expert that is looking at everything. Obviously, it does mean that you are also containing any sort of inflation because you're making sure you're always paying the right amount. And you're also making sure that body shops are all treated fairly and in the same manner and in a transparent manner.
The benefits are obvious for the insurer, but what about the rest of the ecosystem?
Well, AI review does bring huge benefit for the body shop as well. And that's really how we think about our solution. We want to generate value to the entire ecosystem. So for the body shop, with AI review, you're essentially reducing all of the manual checking processes. And so what that means is that there's less friction, less time spent on iterating between an insurance company and a body shop. And as a body shop, you can actually get on with your repairs and fix and repair more cars, which is what is driving your profitability. So that actually is what body shops want. They want to repair cars. They want autonomy. They don't want to be waiting for an approval from the insurers. And so any system that enables this control on the insurance side, but also this autonomy and this speed of approval on the body shop side is basically serving both parties. You end up with a much faster process and with the right level of quality that's guaranteed by the AI.
Whoa, that sounds impressive. Are there any other benefits?
Well, ultimately, you can use AI review to improve how your entire network of repairers behaves. As an insurer, you can use the platform to make sure that the body shops that you work with are using the best practices and the safest repair methods, which also mean you can work with less consistent performers to educate them, to elevate them, so that they operate at the standards that you expect. And in effect, what we're seeing here is an AI that is acting as a real-time coach, guiding the body shop to really the most successful outcome. It's learning from the best players in the network, and it's using this loop, this input, this new data to elevate the others.
Those are real benefits. Can we see this working in practice?
This is what happens in a normal car accident. The body shop takes photos of the damage, estimates how much it will cost to fix it, and sends the photos to the insurer. At this point, the insurer makes an assessment. Is this an accurate estimate of the repair? So the policyholder will get a car back that is safe on the road? And is the insurer paying a fair price? Now, it's difficult for an insurer to know the answer to that. It takes about 30 minutes to manually check a claim, and they may process millions of claims every year, so they don't have the capacity to check them all. Checking also slows the whole claims process down. So instead, insurers often have rules in place that pull out some claims for review. But that is not a perfect process, as those rules may be fallible. For example, the insurer may not know if it's checking the right claims or if problems are seeping through the net. Using an AI improves this process. Here, our AI is able to process multiple claims in seconds. It first checks if there is sufficient evidence available to make an assessment, and then it checks for inconsistencies and potential leakage. It is effectively checking the damage like a human assessor would. If the human had been trained on hundreds of millions of photos of car damage, if the human could remember them all perfectly and would reach the same conclusion every time based on the repair standard set by the insurer. Now, the Tractable AI has accurately assessed the claim and will now help the insurer direct it to the right path as fast as possible. The result is shared with the insurer through our API. The AI has identified which claims require loss adjustment, and when the claim is returned to the insurer, any anomalies are flagged so they can see immediately what needs to be reviewed. This can speed the review process itself up by 3x. This is a step change in efficiency. Because of the AI, the insurer is not only reviewing the right claims. When an expert does need to review, that review is happening more quickly. Every part of the process is working more effectively than before. What happens next? Well, if the body shop and the repairer need to negotiate, that also now happens in the platform. The platform shows all the claim information in one place, points out where the leakage is, and guides the adjuster to the right photos so they can make an assessment. And so the result, 100% of claims reviewed with the AI, the right claims pulled out for manual check, and those checks all carried out more quickly and efficiently than before.
Good to see you have invited a company that's actually using AI review today. I'm pleased to be joined by Marcin Kuchap, Innovation Director from PZU. First, could you tell me a bit more about PZU?
Hi everyone, my name is Marcin, and it's really big pleasure to take part in this year's DIA. PZU is the largest financial institution in Poland. We operate in life, non-life, health, pension and bank market. With over 15 million customers in insurance, we are a market leader. We have over 30% market share in life and non-life market.
Thanks for the introduction of your company. Why did you decide to work with Tractable?
First of all, we noticed that in recent years there was a huge progress made in image recognition technology. Now, the solutions are as good as human or even better. So that was the first thing. The second thing is that since we are a market leader with over 500,000 motor claims proceed every year, there is a huge space for automatization and process improvement and PZU. Combining those two things, we knew that if we were able to use this innovative technology, we can win. We evaluated different market options and felt that Tractable could be a good fit to what we wanted to achieve. We are working for more than 2 years right now and are really satisfied with the results.
That's a solid reason. Could you tell us how you use AI review?
The main use case of using AI review at PZU is to improve our cooperation with body shops. Basically, what AI review is doing, it is analyzing all the body shop claims that come into PZU, and it is flagging all the anomalies in the claims. If there are inconsistencies in the claim, it is sent to our PZU expert, and it is his role to decide what to do next and take further action. If there are no anomalies, the claim goes into fast-track process. Thanks to the solution, PZU experts are able to focus on the claims that really need their attention. What is really great is that it is accelerating our claim process.
Can you perhaps share some of the results that you have achieved so far?
That's a really good question. So basically, we were able to substantially improve our review ability of body shops. That is because of not wasting time, saving time of our people and body shops, and making sure that we are paying the right amount of money for the repairs. Thanks to AI review, we were able to improve our process by tenfold. In terms of ROI, it is a really solid investment.
And how did the ecosystem respond to that?
Of course, some of the body shops are unhappy because right now PZU is able to better control them. But I would say that it is the minority of our partners. The majority of the body shops and our partners are really satisfied with the solution. This is mainly because of time to market. Right now, since we accelerated our claim review process, we are able to give them answer and approve the claim in a much faster way than even before.
What are your future plans with AI?
At PZU, we strongly believe in AI technology. Especially AI image recognition technology is at a stage of development that enable us to use it broadly in our business. Of course, you have to differentiate Hollywood AI, which is working well in movies, from the business life AI, which is working well in our business operations. But basically, what we are planning to do is to implement and apply AI in our next business claim processes, like first notice of loss or estimating. Right now, we are at the stage of piloting some solutions and ongoing projects.
Do you have an advice for insurance carriers who are considering to use AI? How should they evaluate solutions?
AI can make a real difference to how you operate. I'm a big fan of AI image recognition, which we know is as good as human or even better right now. I would say that a key word in implementing AI in insurance sector is selectivity. Because every market and every insurance player is a little bit different, therefore, I would recommend to test as much as you can and implement those solutions that fit you best.
Thank you, Marcin. And thank you, Adrian, for sharing your presentation with us today.